myself. My name is Brad, and this picture is from a city called Split in Croatia, where I was 8 to 9 months back, and I'm a husband and father of one, and the one with the arrow pointing towards is my toughest customer. So you guys will never be my toughest customer, as that title goes to my 5-year-old, but I'm working on building a relationship with her and getting her to see things my way. By the way, she just rated me 1 star on a bedroom story yesterday.
Good luck.
Thank you. So I live in Greater Toronto area, and in total I have 16 plus years of experience in the cybersecurity field. I'm a sales engineer, and in my previous roles, I worked with vendors and partners like Cisco, Fortinet, NTT Limited, to name a few. Here's the agenda for today. We are going to talk about the current threat landscape, some key statistics and trends, how Sophos can help you. I also have 7 to 8 minutes ransomware attack simulation to show you how Sophos can actually help using its CryptoGuard technology to roll back the files that are encrypted by a ransomware on an endpoint. Only few vendors in this world offer this kind of technology, so it's not using any beam backup or any other backups or storage solution. It's right on the endpoint. And for the last few minutes, I'll keep it for the Q&A. If we don't get time for Q&A, maybe I can note down some questions and I can get back to you later. So let's begin. Here's a list of top cyber attacks that have happened within this year. We are just 3 to 4 months into this year, and some from the past year. And this timeline is from an independent research organization based out of Germany. It's called Briefing. So last month, Cablevision, one of the top cable providers based out of Montreal, had a breach and resulting in data exfiltration, and they lost almost 66 gigs of data. Before that, Qualinet Group experienced a significant data theft during the cyber attack, beginning of the winter. They said some of the customer data was stolen. So if you notice, every single month or so, one or the other province gets attacked, and it's nothing new. The screenshot on the right side shows the recent adversaries that were issued by the Canadian Centre of Cybersecurity within 2025. As I said, we are literally 4 months or 3 to 4 months into this year, and there are 150 plus advisories already for 2025. And on the left side, you will see the CVEs, the common vulnerabilities and exposure by severity, a lot of high and critical severity months, and this data is till 2022, but as you can see, the trend is going upwards. When we see the top threat trends, Sophos XOps teams have identified, so it's our independent or internal threat research team that identified ransomware remains the top threat to the critical infrastructure in Canada. The second one is data protection. Data protection is a challenge, and then cybercrime as a service is contributing to cybercrimes in Canada. Business email compromise, unpatched vulnerabilities, and state-sponsored cyber attacks that are trying to shape public opinion. As per the Sophos State of Ransomware Report 2024, these are the spread of ransomware attacks based on industry verticals. So during my previous role, I worked with verticals like manufacturing, construction, technology. Even with this role, I'm working on the same verticals, and we see a lot of rise in the ransomware attacks. And no sector is immune to cyber attacks. The important thing is, how do you safeguard yourself from it? This is how the network admins react when the ransomware strikes. And this is how Sophos comes and help you. So we are into the cybersecurity business from 40 plus years with more than 600,000 customers based out of 150 plus countries. Out of those 600,000, 300,000 are just endpoint customers and 250K firewall customers. We are rated very high by Gartner Magic Quadrant and Gartner Peer Insight reviews. So Gartner Magic Quadrant is mostly from the analyst perspective, and the peer reviews are from customers or end clients like you who have used the product and they review it. So cybersecurity has many acronyms. Let's demystify some of those because I'll keep using EDR, XDR, MDR, NDR. All Sophos solutions are managed by a single cloud managed console that's called Sophos Central. Let's begin with the endpoint. This is the most basic one. Everyone uses it for, at home or in the office. This is the very basic signature-based threat detection option, which is the bare minimum for organizations. Then we talk about endpoint detection and response. There is a human touch to it, and now we see things going more towards investigation and the attacks that are more sophisticated. So this tool tries to get contextual information. And then extended detection and response. So everything builds up on the previous tier. Extended detection and response is where now you start seeing telemetry information from your firewalls, your routers, switches, and then it feeds it to the tool. And then you utilize that data to figure out if there is something bad going on in the network. And then this is the top offering, which is managed detection and response. It's a full-scale incident response functionality. And so basically you outsource your SOC to a vendor like Sophos, who would do threat hunting on your behalf in case it's not even threat hunting, but it can be your day-to-day analysis of traffic or threats that are going on. Nowadays, a lot of vendors have introduced AI, so you can ask the tool, show me top 5 impacted hosts by vulnerability, and it's going to show you those on the panel itself. And the final one is NDR, so it's network detection and response. It detects behavioral analytics on the internal network traffic. So mostly for the lateral traffic, which your firewall might not see because the firewall is deployed on the edge. And this is for the east-west traffic. So Sophos is a company that delivers cybersecurity outcomes to its customers. If you see, we have got major kind of products under endpoint security, network security. So from network we have firewall, NDR. From endpoint we have endpoint protection and encryption. From cloud security we have a solution called Cloud Optics, which can it's like a CASB solution. And then email security, we have phish threat and email as well. And then from the managed services perspective, we have managed risk and MDR and XDR as well. So customers like having fewer products. That's the reason we offer integration between our products. For example, our endpoint talks to our firewall, our email solution talks to our phish threat solution, so that they exchange contextual information, and it all helps identifying those bad actors. And this is how we deliver it using the Sophos Central. So as I said, Sophos Central is our single cloud managed tool that manages all of our products. So I come from a multi-vendor background. As I mentioned, I have worked with Cisco and Fortinet in the past, but this is one tool that does it really neatly, and it's one of the easiest consoles to work with. We offer solutions for before, during, and after the attack. So before the attack, we offer managed risk, which is an external attack surface management solution, which is going to identify your status of your stack. It could be your external WAN IP address. Is it not blacklisted. From June onwards, we are also offering internal attack surface management. During the attack, we have EDR, XDR, MDR, and then after the attack, we also offer incident response and IR services in case you have been impacted by a cyber attack. So you can pick up the phone, call our back line, and we'll jump right into your network to figure out what's happening. Now you must be thinking, like every other vendor, Sophos also requires you to purchase their own solution, but that's not the case. We work really well with third-party integrations. We offer third-party integrations for our XDR and MDR offerings. As you can see, we integrate with Microsoft, we integrate with endpoints, we integrate with firewalls, Palo Alto, Cisco, Fortinet, identity management tools, Cisco Duo, all the major cloud service providers, and as far as backups as well, so Veeam, etc. The brain behind all of our products is our XOps team. It's a team of 500 plus threat professionals or threat researchers that are working 24/7 to mitigate the threats. And our MDR service offers managed SOC. It consists of the team or the SOC analysts that follow the Sun model, so that our customers don't have to troubleshoot or mitigate something if they have our MDR service. And as I said, we use Gen AI to empower our analysts. So we offer within that tool AI case summary. So let's say a case is opened by the MDR tool, and AI case summary will include the recommended next steps. And AI search, we also offer that using natural language research. It's to accelerate your day-to-day tasks. For example, find top 5 posts by severity. Now, utilizing all those methods and techniques, Sophos is able to block 99.98% of the threats, and it's proven by Gartner in their research. And the XDR and MDR can help cover some of the remaining gaps from the system. The average Sophos MDR threat remediation time is not days or hours, it's in minutes. So to be precise, it's 38 minutes. When we say cybersecurity as a service delivers superior security outcomes, we mean we offer it at lesser risk and more greater efficiency and lower costs. So my colleague recorded a demo on how Sophos endpoint protects against ransomware, and it has the capability to roll back files that are encrypted on ransomware. So I'm going to play this video for 5 to 7 minutes, and let's see how Sophos can help from the endpoint perspective.
Sophos Endpoint provides unparalleled defense against advanced cyber attacks. Airtight ransomware protection and a comprehensive defense in-depth approach stop the broadest range of threats before they impact your systems, while powerful tools enable your team to detect, investigate, and respond to sophisticated multi-stage threats with speed and precision. In this demonstration, we'll showcase a ransomware attack and response. On the left here, we see our victim's machine, a Windows PC. On the right here is our attacker's machine running Kali Linux and listening for active sessions. Now, in order for this attack to have any chance of working, we're going to need to turn off a bunch of protection on the endpoint. Normally, tamper protection would be turned on so that the user can't just get into the settings here to turn features off. So we're going to need to disable a bunch of runtime features here, basically everything except ransomware detection. So this machine is now really vulnerable, and of course, this is not recommended. Time for the attack. It's a simple, straightforward phishing email with a poisoned attached document. Now, as the user, I'm surprised to have received a flight itinerary, given that I haven't booked a flight, and human nature being what it is. I open up the attachment, and by doing so, I let loose a zero-touch exploit. Now notice on the right-hand side here, on the attacker's machine, opening up that malicious document has spawned a session. I, the user, confused by the cryptic document with the info for the flight I didn't book, now close the document and exit the email program. There's too much to do. No time to worry about that weird email given that my TPS report is due. It's in pretty good shape. It just needs a title, so I'll enter that up here at the top and save the document. Now, as the attacker, I want to take a look at my active sessions here. Looks like I have one connection to a Windows machine on the hook. I'll start an interaction with that machine. I can look up the user ID here and see that I'm logged in as that user. Great, that means I can run my encryption payload. So let's get some ransomware doing its thing on my victim's machine. Back over on the user's machine. Notice how the documents start changing one by one to .own files. They're being encrypted one by one. After a handful of them have been encrypted, however, the CryptoGuard feature in Sophos endpoint notices some suspicious behavior. In this case, the malicious rapid-fire encryption of user files. It stops the encryption and rolls the files back to their previously safe states. It also kills the connection to the attacker's machine. Notice on the right-hand side that the session has been closed so that the attacker can't try to pull off any additional attacks. The endpoint agent pops up to tell the user that it's blocked a ransomware attack on their machine. The attacker checks again to see if there are any active sessions. Nope, the previous session has been killed. On the user side, let's check that TPS report. It's been restored to its safe state, and better yet, this isn't an old copy from hours or days ago. It's got the title that was just added moments before a malicious encryption event. Okay, so all is well as far as the user is concerned, but putting on our admin hat, we need to figure out what just happened. We're now in Sophos Central, our web-based admin console, and we've navigated to the Threat Analysis Center. We want to dig a little deeper into how the attack unfolded, so let's head to the Threat Graphs section. We can see the attack that just happened here, and when we click on it, we get a visual representation of what happened. We got a broad overview up top here. The computer that was affected, we have the attack started, the root cause, the program or process that carried out the actual attack, the beacon, and so forth. We've also got a quick summary of the attack and some suggested next steps. But the threat graph is where we can really dig into the attack. We've got the full graph by default, but the direct path option is the quickest way to view the attack as it unfolded. In this case, Outlook was the root cause, denoted by the red dot. Outlook opened the document using Microsoft Office, specifically Microsoft Word, which opened it as an HTML app, which opened a command prompt to kick off the attack. And then we got a series of PowerShell actions. These are likely when we saw those documents being encrypted one by one on the user's machine. It ends with the beacon event here, where you see the blue dot. This is the point that CryptoGuard convicted PowerShell and stopped the attack. So the first thing we're interested in is this poison document. We can, for instance, now search the email system to see if other users were affected. If we find this document on other machines, we can use Sophos Email's clawback feature to remove the document from our users' inboxes. We can also use Sophos XDR to query the machines across our estate for this document to see if and how far this attack has spread. Back in the full graph view, we can see the attack in more detail. There's the root cause again, and we can follow the path through to the beacon event. Let's zoom in a bit on this section, specifically the point where we start seeing PowerShell come to life. We can click on PowerShell here to get more details of the process itself, including the command line. We see that the command line here is pretty heavily encoded, which isn't a good sign. We also see that PowerShell connected to an IP address here, which is helpful because we can use that IP address to investigate a bit further, perhaps to search for it to see if it's associated with known malicious attacks, for instance. We can also look at the file reads, which shows us that 6 business files were read. Most of these we saw being encrypted on the user's machine. And indeed, if we come back and look at the file writes, we can see those .own files that were opened, written over, and renamed during the malicious encryption event. So just a little digging, we've quickly uncovered 3 important elements: the email attachment to go search for, the IP address of our potential attacker, and exactly which files were involved in this particular attack. That's a look at how Sophos Endpoint's CryptoGuard technology stops a ransomware attack and how easy it is to quickly investigate the attack after it's been stopped. Thanks for watching. Stay secure.
Let's move to the next one. Because, as I said, only few vendors in this world offer this technology where we can really roll back the files on an endpoint, the encrypted files. I think One also offers that, and CrowdStrike doesn't offer that. But then Sophos has an added advantage based on its own products. We have our own firewalls, endpoint, email security, that all dies map into this, into our MDR service. So that makes us one of the best in this world, and the stats speak for themselves. Sophos MDR, endpoint, and firewall are one of the top-rated products by Gartner Peer Insight Review. Let's talk about cyber insurance. We partner with cyber insurance providers like Cysurance in Canada, and when they know that customer has Sophos, they are happy to provide a breach protection warranty, and it could be as high as $1,000 per endpoint, up to $1 million in warranty. So just imagine we offer, because we are so much confident about our solution, our breach protection warranty goes up to $1 million, and many Sophos MDR users enjoy increased coverage options as well, and lower premiums thanks to their lower risk profile. Because all these cyber insurance or the cyber insurance providers, they look at the risk profile of that company and the user before issuing them the breach protection warranty. And our warranty terms and conditions are one of the simplest. This is how the network admin chill after they know they have Sophos. That's it, folks. I want to say thank you. If this has provided any value to you, feel free to provide feedback, and have a great rest of your day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to open the floor up just for some questions, and we'll walk around and just get your hands up. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Julian from Woolton Village. We have Sophos now for 5-6 years, so happy about it. Just a question on your roadmap. You're going to build a connector from Sophos to Microsoft Purview, so we can manage the compliances, because right now we have to do everything manual to make sure we can show compliances, Microsoft doesn't seem to want to send its own solution, but if you can have a connector between the two of them, so you can generate a report and can really focus on what we have to do manually. Thank you.
So the question was related to Microsoft Purview.
Yeah, if Sophos will be a connector,
Yeah.
so report.
So as of today, we offer connectors for Microsoft Graph Security. I think we also have it for Defender and the Azure and the Entra ID. So we keep innovating. I don't have an exact timeline, but Pureview, maybe it's something on the roadmap. Absolutely, I'll reach out to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question. All right, gentlemen over here.
Thank you. I just want to get some clarification on the ability of the software to decrypt the files on the go. How does this software know about the algorithms, and how does it have the ability to decrypt the encrypted files? Like, does it have a library of the existing algorithms and sort of like see which encryption algorithms were used, and how does it decrypt? So I really want to understand, without going into too much technical details, of course, just some high levels.
Yeah, that's a really nice question. How does the endpoint software knows how to decrypt the file that has been encrypted by the ransomware? All the Sophos endpoints that you deploy comes inbuilt with machine learning and AI on the endpoint, not just the console, but on the endpoint itself. it keeps an eye, basically it's behavioral analysis of what files are being worked on, what kernel values or what registry files have been changed for that files, and the moment it detects some crazy activity, like that, for example, in this data flight example, the user clicked on that specific the file, the dog file, and that kicked an HTML and then a PowerShell. So PowerShell is one big red flag. Second red flag is the exploit from the HTML application. So using all of these, we are able to identify, and then Sophos works on decrypting or all the encrypted files. So I hope that answers.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else for questions? All right, come back.
Thank you. Further on that, they're just wondering, is the network drive in the files that open up from there, are they able to decrypt them as well?
Network drives, I'm not sure, but I'll get back to you on that. Because network drive is that you are talking in terms of that storage that can have gigs or that kind of data. So that part, I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah. Because that would be really nice if you do that.
Yeah. The only thing is, because this solution is there or is deployed on the endpoint, so it's mostly covering that side of the house. And then there are vendors like Veeam who offer backup and restore functionality for the NAS or the storage. But yeah, that's a nice question. I'll get back to you.
Thanks.
So on top of that, what about the OneDrive or SharePoint cloud-based files that have not been downloaded? What would be the repercussion of those files?
And for the cloud-based, let's say Box.com or Artroom, we offer to block that communication right on the endpoint itself, so that the data doesn't have to be exfiltrated or have to be encrypted. Like we try to use or create those policies on the endpoint using app control and encryption policies, so that there is no exfiltration happening at that level itself. But yeah, that would be an additional question, how it helps on, for example, Box.com or OneDrive that are on the shared drives.
Any other questions, guys? Oh, right there. Good.
Hi, my name is Brian from FIO, Imperial. We're in the process of launching APR services with Sophos, so we are a Sophos customer. As part of our implementation plan, we're considering what to do on the end-to-end. So right now, we are not a Sophos EDR customer. We're not using your EDR client to monitor our endpoints. But one question that has come up is, what's the best practice when implementing Sophos EDR? Is it switching to Sophos for EDR or using your sensors both on top of our existing EDRs software to monitor?
Yeah. Again, a very good question. So they are going to be our future customers, our new customers. Again, a lot of vendors charge you for EDR solution if you are buying their MDR service. Sophos offers free of cost agent for all of its MDR customers. So the moment you buy the MDR pack, you also get endpoint agent, EDR, XDR functionality for free. So then it makes sense for you to deploy that overnight or on a weekend, and then from next day onwards, you are protected by the best class protection.
Does that answer your question?
Oh, kind of.
Okay.
But what if the business has been using a third-party software that they've relied on for years and it's a trusted partner?
Yeah.
And like anything, they don't want to change, they're resistant to change. You have an existing subscription that may surpass your implementation plan. What's the guidance? What's the management still?
So you can continue using your existing endpoint protection tool. As I shown in the slides, we do support CrowdStrike Sentinel-1 on the endpoint side. So as long as you want to use, but I'm pretty sure you would want to migrate as soon as possible to that MDR or the EDR solution that we offer. But yeah, we support most of the third-party vendors from MDR perspective.
Does Sophos have the capability when it comes to phishing attacks and when it goes after your contact list and forwarding something from your contact list to all your contacts? Does it have anything like that prevents that from happening?
Oh, absolutely. We have Sophos email protection. That's our email security tool. And there is a feature called impersonation attack prevention, where you enter the names of your top C-level executives in your company, especially the accounts team or the finance team, so that nobody can impersonate those and create an urgency, like there is a payment of 500K or 200K required as soon as possible. So they try to create urgency, and that's when all the bad stuff happens. So we offer that part of our email protection solution, and that integrates back to our MDR as well.
That's it. Yep. Next question.
What's the timeline for the rollout?
Sorry, what's the timeline for?
What's the timeline for the Sophos rollout? Like if my company were to go with Sophos, what's the timeline?
Its rollout timelines depends on how you are planning. If you are doing the whole organization at once, you can literally, I've seen clients doing thousands of machines on a weekend, and then they are protected. Some of the clients will go phased approach, and they will do like finance department, sales teams, and those teams first, and then the other teams and when the rollout is designed. I would say go once and all, because that gap that you leave in between can be,
Any other questions, guys? Ladies and gentlemen? All right, well, thank you guys for joining this session today. I appreciate every single one of you for taking the time. You guys are free to go to your next breakout session, grab some snacks, refreshments, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.